bless you. We see the Spirit of God within you, guiding, protecting, and prospering you always. Always, always, always. Our children need this message so much, so much. All right, off we go. Little Johnny, our favorite character in our Sunday messages, was coming home from church one Sunday morning with his mother, and his mother noticed that he had a very serious look on his face. "What's on your mind, little Johnny?" she asked. "Is it true what the minister said about us all coming from dust and turning back to dust?" Why are you waving at me? Oh, the affirmation for our church. Okay, well, we can do that. Look, interrupting little Johnny. We still have our church property for sale. We had a couple of really good showings the past week. I'm fully expecting offers to come in this week, so let's hold that vibration of abundance as we affirm our church affirmation together. God's loving guidance works through all concerned to bring about the right outcome for our church property and to reveal the next perfect place for unity of Auburn. Let it be so. Moment of silence. Thank you, God. All right, so we're affirming. Back to little Johnny. He's driving home. His mom sees that he's concerned. Is it true what the minister said about, well, he said the priest, about all of us coming from dust and turning back to dust? "Yes, it is, Johnny," she said. "Why do you ask?" "Well, when we get home," he answered, "you better look under my bed because someone's either coming or going." There you go. That little Johnny's smart little guy, isn't he? Every week we hear something from him. All right, so we're continuing in our series, Sculpt a Prosperous Life, Your Divine Plan for Abundance. You're in charge of your life, your thoughts and your feelings, your consciousness creates your life. We've talked about allowing abundance in your life. We talked about your statute of limitations. What have you chiseled into rock hard belief about the prosperity in your life? Last week we talked about desire and how it can prosper you, that the word desire in its Latin root is de, of the, sire is father. All desire is of the Father. And so that's spirit that kind of knocking, tapping on the door of your heart, Catherine Ponder would say. Tapping on the door of your heart with the next good expression that's ready to flow into your life. And our responsibility is to get open to receive it. So this week, our lesson is magnetize yourself for prosperity through release. You can't get something new in your life unless you make room for it and let go and clean up and out all of the unneeded, unused, unwanted things that are in your life. When we start to build a bigger consciousness of wealth and well-being, isn't it important to lay a solid foundation? And that's kind of what we're doing with our series, the messages of statute of limitations, desire, and release, of 6 or 7 steps that you want to begin introducing to your consciousness, or just swimming around, let swim around in your consciousness so you begin to hold your life in a more abundant way. Wouldn't it feel good to be equipped to succeed the way thousands before us have? I use 3 simple systems when I'm learning to grow myself in prosperity. First, I hear the prosperity principles like we're doing in this series, like you hear them here, or you take a class, or you read a book. Catherine Ponder's books, Open Your Mind to Prosperity. All of her books are easy reads, inspirational, as are Richard Dott's books, where we're doing a class after church for the next couple of weeks, Let the Universe Lead You. It's about just allowing the infinite flow of spirit to move freely in your life. When I learned prosperity, I would hear prosperity principles, and then I would try them or apply them, and then prove them. So step 1, learn the principle, apply the principle, watch the principle come true, and you prove it for yourself. And you do that over and over and over the years, and pretty soon it's just a way of life, practicing prosperity principles. I started small so I could conduct my own test and observe the results. And I found the more I used them, the more they prove themselves that spiritual law does work. Anyone can learn them, the prosperity principles. The real deal is to use them, to apply them when appearances don't look so abundant and flourishing or fortunate in your life. There are a couple of laws to practicing prosperity, and the first one in our lesson today is put things in order. The first law, order is the first law of the universe. I don't know if you can see that really well. All those little toys, and then you pick the 3 out, and you've got the ones that work for you, right? Put things in order. Order is the first law of the universe, and it's the way to open yourself to increased good. So why is it necessary to literally clean out your life to make way for something new to come in? It's really cleaning out your consciousness, your thought process. But the reason you want to put things in order is divine substance, which Charles Fillmore talked about, the substance of God, that shimmering essence of God, doesn't flow easily into a crowded, cluttered place. Divine substance doesn't flow easily, I've got a slide for that, doesn't flow easily into a crowded mind filled with negative thoughts. It doesn't flow easily into a hate-filled heart. It needs space. Divine substance doesn't flow easily into a cluttered, crowded situation, mind, heart, or space. When you see the zen of those kinds of rooms, you walk in and you find yourself in that kind of room. When you go to Pottery Barn, you walk in and you feel a vibration of beauty and abundance. So it's divine substance doesn't flow easily into a cluttered, crowded situation. The infinite intelligence of the universe is not going to violate the orderly arrangement of things, of events and things. And by affirming divine order, the words divine order, you are speaking 2 of the most powerful words in the universe, because you're calling on the universe, the infinite intelligence, to line things up for you. And it'll line up with your dominant vibration, with the dominant thoughts and feelings in your consciousness. So if you're feeling like this, and so the universe is going to match that. But if you're feeling like with zeal and enthusiasm, like our Daily Word said today, Charles Fillmore at age 94, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. That's at 94, So, by affirming divine order, you're activating 2 of the most powerful words in the universe. You're actually pouring a secret sauce into your life. Spirit seems to thrive on order, and oftentimes will withhold the next unfoldment, the next step for your life, until order is established in the present situation. Now, there's a spiritual practice that's very simple, very easy to do, to open yourself to prepare for greater increase. And if you look at all the ancient formulas and all the spiritual teachers and all the inspirational speakers on the internet and all of that, you'll notice when they talk about abundance, they all have this one process that we can all practice, and that's the process of release, process of letting go. There has to be a letting go of the old to make way for the new. We know this, but do we practice it? Do we let go of those thoughts that are harboring in our minds about what he said, she said 20 years? Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm thinking of conversations that happened 20 years ago. Do you ever do that? I mean, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, I'm thinking, oh, I remember that. And then I play that back in my head, I think, and then I have to say, stop, Cherie, stop. There's no, think of something beautiful. Decide to be optimistic. Decide to be happy. Don't replay those old tapes. If you try to bypass the cleansing out process, if you try to hold on to your old possessions, your old thoughts, your old feelings, your old beliefs, because you're going to block your good, because you haven't emptied out a space to receive the good that you want. If you want to be prospered, if you want to have healing for your body, if you want your prayers to be answered, you have to clean out your consciousness. I remember when one gentleman in my church in Nashville was diagnosed with some cancer, and all of a sudden he adopts this meditation practice. His wife said he's turning into a guru. He gets up every morning and he meditates for 30 minutes. He eats lunch and he meditates for 30 minutes, and at night before he goes to bed, he's sitting in the silence for 30 minutes. He was, uprooting his whole life to bring healing to his body. I'm happy to say I've been gone from there 12 years, and he's still living and thriving, and everything worked out for him. Unless you affirm abundance and supply and guidance and even healing. But all the while, you're out of sequence with that vibration. You're countering it in your thought or in your you want health of your body, but your diet doesn't reflect that commitment, or your habits don't reflect that commitment. You're out of alignment with the vibration of the universe. So you want to clear your consciousness to let go of the lesser, to automatically make room for the better and the higher in your life. And one way to do this, besides clearing out the space, a really nice way to accelerate receiving things, receiving good, opening to the flow of good in your life, is to create a vacuum. Now, what do I mean by that? Clear out that space and leave an empty space. Just leave a void, because nature abhors a vacuum. Have you ever weeded your garden and just had the soil was perfect, and you weren't ready, you weren't deciding yet what you were going to plant in there, but a week later you went out and what'd you find? All the weeds had just taken over. If you create a space, nature, spirit, God is going to fill it. So creating a vacuum is an accelerated way to draw good into your life. And I always say, clean out the junk drawer and watch how fast it fills up again, right? Have you ever reorganized your silverware drawer and boop, all of a sudden there's all those extra forks and spoons and teaspoons in there? Where did they come from? Well, if you think about it, you're doing it, you're putting them in there, but you're doing it unconsciously, I think, just in the flow of things. You clean out the junk drawer and watch how fast stuff flows right back in. So you want to get rid of what you don't want. And we have a thrift store for that. Clothing, tools, furniture, toys, apps. Now they have Rocket something it's called, that goes through your phone and finds all the things you've subscribed to that you're no longer using, and it'll clean them out for you. I haven't tried that, but we sign up for subscriptions to auto this and auto that and this TV program and that channel or whatever, and we've got all this stuff flowing, and this Rocket, whatever it's called, will clean all that out for you. So you want to clean out clothes, tools, furniture, toys, apps, your emails. One of my assistants, when I worked in Kansas City at the World Headquarters, she wanted to hang on to everything because she just felt more secure that if anything came up, she could look back and prove what she was doing and why she was doing it. She had 400 emails in her computer. I said, how do you even find that stuff? I was stunned. You want to clean out old cars, relationships, stuff that's no longer right for your life, and begin moving tangibles and intangibles out of your life in the faith that you can have what you really want. If you're not using it, it's taking up, what's the next slide here? By letting go of the lesser, you automatically clear away in consciousness for the higher and better and higher life. Catherine Ponder in her books has wonderful affirmations that you can read over and over. Keep the book on the night table by your bedside. I let go of worn out things, worn out conditions, worn out relationships. Divine order is established in my life. I watch with excitement, zeal, and enthusiasm as Spirit flows new good into my life. You can work with these words. There's so much power in your spoken word. So you clean out your junk drawer and watch how infinite intelligence of the universe flows that new good into your life. And there has to be release of the old to make way for the new. When you unblock your good, you're forming a vacuum, and you can feel lighter and freer. When you clean out that closet or that junk drawer, doesn't it feel good? Ladies, the inside of your purse, your closet, the inside of your purse. Gentlemen, the trunk of your car. There are all these places where we just accumulate things that we're just moving past them all the time, and we need to take a look at that and be mindful of how we're vibrating with the stuff that we live with around us. Then you want to, number 2, create a vacuum, clear out what doesn't work. Number 2, give up the expensive and the new. This can be a little bit harder. It's one thing to give away a broken toaster or a chipped dish. It's another thing to give away a very expensive piece of clothing or jewelry, isn't it? Especially if it's an heirloom piece. That's tough. Have you ever had a fight with a shirt or a dress? You loved it when you bought it, doesn't fit anymore, it's stained or torn, or the buttons are missing, you've outgrown it. It was a gift from a loved one. It was the wrong purchase you made in the first place, but you don't let it go. I had my wedding dress boxed. You know, you can take your wedding dress to the cleaners, and they do this preservation box thing, so you can save it for your daughter in 50 years or whatever. It's very expensive to do that. Maybe back then it was like $125 to box this wedding dress. It's gone. In one of my moves, it didn't make the move. I don't know where it went. I don't really care where it went. I'm not going to use it. I don't have a daughter that would want it, but I paid money to box it and preserve it, and in one of my moves, it just went walkabout. I don't know what happened to it. But the point is, if you don't move it out of your life, Spirit will find a way to help you let it go. Spirit will find a way to help you. Whoop, I'll help you get rid of this. It's wise to give up the expensive and the new as well as the inexpensive. If expensive items, oh yeah, how many of you had bridesmaids dresses hanging in your closet that you wore one time for your friend's wedding? It was chartreuse or grossly purple, and you never had a place that you could wear, a party that you could wear this to again. But it hangs in your closet, right? Remember that movie, 27 Bridesmaids or whatever? All those bridesmaids dresses, they were expensive to buy, and you wore them one time. So let it go. Let it go. Again, we have a thrift store for those kinds of things for people that are looking for that. You know my story that I always talk about in these sequences about the lawnmower in your garage. It's in your garage. You don't use it. It's covered over with a tarp. You haven't used it for 5 years because you hired a gardener. The gardener shows up every week, does your yard, but you keep the lawnmower in case the gardener doesn't show up. He's never not shown up in 5 years, right? But the lawnmower is there rusting, and all the cords and the oils and the things from lack of use are deteriorating it. But you keep it just in case you might need it someday. But your real thought is, I'm keeping this in case when I'm older, I can't afford to buy the things that I want or need. That's what you're planting in consciousness, right? I won't be able to buy this if I need it when I'm older. And so the lawnmower sits there, and you're holding it hostage. It can't do what it was created to do, which is create beautiful lawns, cut grass. It's held hostage, rusting and decaying, and you're holding in consciousness seeds that you can't afford to buy what you need when you're older, or years from now, right? So, Scripture says, lay not up treasures that rust and moth and dust consume. Lay up treasures in heaven. Lay up affirmative thinking about your life. Lay up prosperous thoughts. Lay up faith and belief that you'll always be provided for, that you'll always have all you need for your eternal ongoing. Remember, my mom would walk around the house and lift up her hand and say, every child born into the world comes with all it will ever need for its eternal ongoing. And I'd scrunch up my face and look up at her and go, you know, I only understood about half of that at the time, but she was instilling in me that we're provided for by a loving, intelligent Spirit of God. You know, and it's not anything out there, but something within. So, you can't be afraid to trust that the spiritual law that brought you the lawnmower in the first place will replace it with an equivalent good if it should go out of your life, right? Without all the financial and emotional stress around that. Number 3, get rid of what doesn't work. This is, ever bought something on impulse and realized later that you didn't need it, and yet you didn't want to give it up because, well, you paid money for it and you bought it, and it's not what you really wanted when you got it home. It wasn't right. I had a friend in Nashville who was an immigrant trying to make his way in the world, and he would go out and buy these old cars that were sitting behind somebody's barn or on the side of their house, covered over with whatever. He'd make them an offer of $500 or something to haul it away. And then he had a whole team of immigrants that were car specialists. They'd put in new motors, new transmissions, clean it up, paint it, and he would resell it for cash to immigrants. He was the immigrant car guy. You know, if immigrants, they can't get a loan because they don't have the jobs for that. So he provided all the cars for many, many, many immigrants. And what I loved about this is when someone would come to look at the car, he would set the radio dials on the type of music he thought they would like. If it was a Hispanic buyer, he put it on Mexican stations. If it was an Arab buyer, he put it on Arab channels or whatever. So when they got in the car and tested the radio, it's already set to music they would love in the car. He became a citizen and got his car dealer's license. And last when I talked to him in September when I was in Nashville, his net worth is now about $5 million. Just flipping old cars and serving an immigrant market that needs cars but can't qualify for a loan. So get rid of what doesn't work and let it go to some place that it can be, that it can do good, that it can do what it's supposed to do. Instead of condemning yourself, if you've bought something and you get it home and you think this isn't right, I shouldn't have. I bought a rug yesterday and I've got it on my floor and I'm not sure it's right. And it's kind of a hassle to take it back. It wasn't that expensive, but I'm thinking it's perfect for this lesson because I don't know if I don't know if I should keep it. I don't know if I want to roll it up, put it in the car, drive it back, exchange it. I couldn't find the right color. Anyway, instead of condemning yourself for shopping impulsively, return it, donate it, give it away. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rug, but stay tuned. And when you get into those situations, just count it as ongoing tuition in the school of life. And know that when you release it, you make way for an equivalent good. Catherine Ponder talks about an equivalent good to find its way to you. Count it as ongoing tuition in the school of life. Release and make way for an equivalent good to find its way to you. This rug wasn't exactly the right color. I was walking on it this morning. It's very cushy. I really like the feel. It's just, it clashes with the cabinet. I'm not sure. So we'll stay tuned. We'll see. You may ask, what if I let something go and I wish I had it back? Here's the thing. You have the same consciousness that created that good in the first place. Only now you've grown spiritually, mentally, emotionally. So if you want to create that same thing, you're going to create a newer, more updated version because you're more, right? If I got rid of my old car and I wish I had it back or I hadn't done that, that was too soon, I have the same consciousness that drew that car to me in the first place. So if I open myself to the right car for me, I'm going to magnetize myself to a car that has the features and price and all the stuff that's right for me. The truth is, your spirit knows what to eliminate. If you get still and think, stay or go, keep it or let it go, keep it or let it go, you'll make the right choices. The all-knowing mind in you is doing the eliminating, and you can be assured that everything that you let go of will turn out for the best. Let's see, what is this? We can declare, the all-knowing mind of God is doing the eliminating. Be assured everything you let go of will turn out for the best. There's nothing that can keep your good from you. If you let go of something and it's right for your life, it will find its way back to you. You know, it will. It just will. You can't push anything out of your life that's not yours by right of consciousness. So Catherine Ponder again affirms, Spirit in me is my releasing power. Spirit in me is my discerning power. Spirit in me is my freeing power. I am free of all attachments and resentment to people, places, and things of the past or present. So maybe not something old, something currently you're holding in your mind. She uses a lot of the words now. I now release everything and everyone who is no longer a part of the divine plan for my life. Spirit in me manifests my true prosperity now. Spirit in me manifests my true prosperity now. This is a coverall, and she does a lot of coverall affirmations. I now release everything and everyone who's no longer a part of the divine plan for my life. You know, and then you have to watch out because Spirit will move things out of your life. Spirit has moved things out of my life that I wasn't necessarily emotionally ready to let go of, but it cleared the way, Things have gone out of my life that I thought I wasn't ready for that, and I've had to really work to trust that the higher plan I asked for was being established, because it didn't look like it. If you judge from appearances, it didn't look like it. Number 4, you can also gain release from troublesome situations by speaking words of release for people and problems you struggle with. I kind of like this little visual. I thought it was cute. We're seeing the animals. Did you hear about, is it Veronica, the cow that took the stick in her mouth and scratched her back with it? Have you not heard that on the news? This brown cow out in the field, and there were some scientists are studying animals. Do animals use tools? And Veronica picked up this stick and scratched her backside with it. And then it was a broom. She turned it around the other way and scratched under her chin with the softer bristles. Just think, the animals are more cognizant than we think. Well, anyway, you can release from troublesome situations using words of release for people and problems that you struggle with. If you have somebody in your life that's rubbing you the wrong way, speak words of blessings for them. Catherine Ponder, again, tells the story that a man wanted to grow his business, but he had troubles with his vendors. His parking arrangement was not good for the business, and the equipment kept breaking down. It was difficult. So he released it to Spirit in divine order with the affirmation, I release this situation and these people to the perfect outworking of universal Christ consciousness. I don't know a higher affirmation you could use. I now loose them and let them go completely. This situation is resolved and prospered in every way. Now, you wrote that out, and if you have that kind of affirmation that you can speak every day, put it on your bathroom mirror or whatever, you're training your mind to let go and to open to receive. If you're clinging to the thought of how some situation in your life can work out, what form the solution should take, you want to let go and declare the situation, I release you and I let go and let God. In our book that we're studying in the lessons after church today, Richard Dotz, in his chapter about the universe knows, I think that's called something like that, he said, we're always trying to figure out how. I highlighted and circled the word how in that chapter probably 15 times, where he says, if you're trying to figure out how this is going to happen, how you're going to get the money, how you're going to find the way, how you're going to meet the people, how. He said, you have to let all that go, because the infinite intelligence of the universe knows how. How. More intelligence than our little human minds can contain. I release and let go. What does this say? I release this situation, these people, to the perfect outworking of the universal Christ consciousness, to the infinite intelligence of Spirit. I now loose them and let them go completely. It's scary to let go like that, because you think, well, it won't come back, or it'll be empty, I'll be lonely, there's nothing to replace it. But you can't have those thoughts. We know that in our teachings. Your thoughts are, I lovingly let go because Spirit will bring a more well-suited good into my life. Nothing can ever be lost through spiritual release. Instead, your own good and the good of all concerned is freer to come into your life when you get yourself uncluttered and unblocked. Through release, you magnetize yourself to your true good. You want to vibrate at a receptivity to the abundance and the love of Spirit. So you let go of everything that doesn't match that vibration in your heart and in your thoughts. We all want to have wonderful conditions in our lives, and we should have them. And the urge of progress is the urger urging us forward, and the urger is God. And we're here practicing and studying the principles of prosperity to grow our own wealth consciousness so we can let go, give up, and make room for what's seeking to be expressed through us. Desire, God, tapping on the door of your heart, saying, hello, this is what I have ready for you. please clear a space and get yourself open so I can bring it in. Bring it in. There must be constant elimination of the old to keep pace with the new growth. Dare, Catherine Ponder says, dare to clean things out, and you'll see your prosperity steadily improve. And our affirmation we close with today is, next one, yeah, there it is. I am working in sequence, in the orderly. I am working in sequence with the universe to powerfully magnetize myself to greater good. Go home and clear out what doesn't work, the junk drawer, the inside of your purse, the trunk of your car, that whatever it is, your closet, and synchronize yourself with the sequence of divine order that is the universe. And then watch. You have to practice the principles and prove them for yourself. So my little thing this week is I have dining room chairs that I've never liked, and I want to get rid of them, and I've been looking for chairs that I like, and I finally found them at a price that's okay. But I don't go buy them because if I have them delivered, I don't know how to get rid of the other chairs. I don't have a way, I don't have a truck, I don't have a place to haul them. Somebody says, put them on eBay, but I don't like people coming to my house to buy things out of my garage or whatever. So I'm open and receptive to my dining room chairs finding their true place, letting go of them and they can find their true place. And I'm open and receptive to my new chairs coming in. And we'll see how that goes. I was affirming that this morning as a way you just practice the principles of prosperity for what you need. Claim what you need and then go from there. I can't put them in the thrift store because we don't sell furniture. If anybody needs wooden dining room chairs, I have 6 and they're going out the door. So U-Haul, free, but U-Haul. All right, so God bless you. Let's have a prayer of release that I have for us this morning. It was written, I don't know who wrote it, but it's called Universal Release. And it's a series of affirmations for release. So think about your life and what's cluttering you up. What might be blocking the flow of spiritual good for you. Take a minute to turn within to your heart. United in this oneness of mind, heart, and spirit, we invite spirit to flow in and through us to ramp up our vibration of receptivity apologize. I missed those words. We have to practice that more often.